as you know, as I mentioned earlier, in regards to my affiliation with the city of Birmingham and the government and our new mayor, Mayor Whiffen, we recently did a study and had a meeting in regards to the city of Birmingham economic development meeting. Now, out of that meeting, we came up with asking the community some of their needs and some of their desires in regards to the business community, in regards to economic empowerment. Now, these are some of the things that came out of that meeting, that the community was looking for and that the community desired, that the community wanted help from the city in regards to. Number one is mentorship programs. They wanted more mentorship programs for businesses or people that wanted to go into business and pretty much to help them on their journey of how to become successful with all of the ins and outs in regards to starting your business. And if you already had your business, help growing your business, because that's important. Number two is marketing and advertising training. They wanted the city to provide marketing and advertising training. Now, as you know, if you can't get your business out there, nobody's gonna buy it. You can't get your product out there, your idea out there, as you know, no one is gonna buy it. Now, number three was classes around licensing and permitting. If you know anything about when it comes to real estate, comes to building, construction, licensing, permitting, you gotta know, how to get in the ins and outs in regards to the city. And so they wanted more classes in regards to that. Number four, the ability to create small businesses. And then, that's one of the things that people want, have the ability to do. They want to know how to go about doing it. There are any avenues that help individual entrepreneurs that want to start a business. They want to know. And then how to obtain funding and investment. Show me the money. Money makes it go around. So everybody understands the startup costs in regards to starting your own business. Now, need and want economic empowerment. Economic empowerment. What does it look like? How does it apply to the city of Birmingham? How does it apply to your community? How does it apply to your neighborhood? What is economic development to you? Because economic development to people are different things from what we learned at this meeting. Now, seminars for citizens on the importance of investing in entrepreneurship. I was sitting out here while the previous the gentleman was speaking, and someone asked a question in regards to investing, in regards to mutual funds. So there want to be more information in regards to that. Number 8 is, it kind of surprised me when I saw this or when they brought it up, but financial literacy for youth. That was a good one, and I'm going to share more about that momentarily. Number 9, incentives of small businesses, that in regards to starting business in the city of Birmingham. What kind of incentives can we get, tax credits for startups and those kind of things like that. Now, as a business owner seeking to become a business owner, what are your needs and desires that you have? And this is something I would like for you to text me, okay? And throughout, you don't have to do it now, but whenever as we're moving on, you can do this. As a business owner seeking to become a business owner, what are your needs and desires that you have? And hopefully we can, this is going to be part of the Q&A when we get to the end. In regards to starting your own business, what questions do you have? What would you like this city or the area where you're at, or if there was a consortium of businesses or a place where you can get information, what is it that you need? Operating your current businesses, how can the city help you, or how can you, me in my business, how could we help you? Growing your business, marketing your businesses, things like that. Now, so once again, throughout this, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back for you. I was moving a little too fast. Come on in, sir.
No, yeah.
Right there?
Thank you.
Yeah. So starting your own business, operating your current business, growing your business, marketing your business, how the city can help you as an entrepreneur, as a pursuing entrepreneur, a person that already owns your own business. How can the city help you? Once again, even with me as a business coach, how can I help you? Questions, and these are questions as you text me. These are questions that we'll be able to get to and answer during our Q&A session. Everybody good with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So once again, there's that number. Text me. Get at me, as the young people say. Here we go. Let's get into it. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Can somebody read that for me?
Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them
Stop. Let who?
Them.
Let them. Let them have what? Dominion. Let them have dominion over what? Fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, over all the earth, over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Who did he say? Let who?
Them.
Let them, male and female. Please understand, when God made this statement, he locked himself out of earth.
Wow.
He locked himself out of the earth to be able to do anything without the permission of man. Because he said, this is your dominion. This is your domain. The earth is your domain. That's why he came in and he asked to give a report, for you to give a report to. And that's why we're going to have to stand and give a report for our domain. Because he locked himself out when he said, let them. Now, it would have been different if he said what? Let us. But he said, let them. So I want you to understand you have a responsibility in regards to this domain called earth that we live in. Now, where we at? There we go. So now, Genesis 1, verse 28, and God blessed them and said to them what? Number 1, be fruitful. Number 2, number 3, number 4. Now this is the Amplified version. It says, when you subdue it, mean use all its vast resources in the service of God and man. Use all the resources of this earth. And hear me when I said it. He said, use all the resources of the earth to get the kingdom message out. To get the message of the kingdom out. Now, I'm going somewhere, and I want to make sure we understanding God's original intent for man when it comes to business. Then, after you do all that, he says what? Have what? Dominion. You can't have dominion until you do everything that was stated previously. All right, so now, in Genesis 1:28, there was a translation that I was reading and studying, and they said this, and please understand, hear it clear. It said, let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, so they may exercise what? Skilled mastery. Makes you start thinking a little different now, right? Mm-hmm. Skilled mastery among, or with respect to the fish or sea among the birds of the air. Exercise skilled mastery. Say mastery. Mastery. Now please understand, first comment God made about you was what? Your assignment, what he wanted you to do, how to do it. And please understand, God has not changed his mind about that. He has not changed his mind about what he originally spoke to you first. Be fruitful, multiply, reveal the earth, subdue it, have dominion. He has not changed his mind. That is still his mandate that he has over us today. Now, please understand, the process of domination, we're calling this class dominating through dominion. Now, the process of domination is this. Number 1 is produce your fruit. Number 2 is multiply your fruit. Number 3, distribute your fruit. And number 4, once you do those things, go ahead and dominate, say dominate, your area of market.
Your area of market.
Now, you understand, the art of business. The art of business is this: produce your fruit, reproduce your product. Produce your product. Number 2 is reproduce your product, which is what? It's there, it's right there. Mass reproduction. Number 3 is distribute your product to the market. And then the last one is dominate your area of gifting or the area of your product. Your key should be dominate. Now, when you do this, in which we just listed, then you're dominating. Now, fruitful means this. When the first thing he told us to do was to do what? Be what? Fruitful. Now, I understand in your churches they're talking about be fruitful, and husbands and wives, get together, go ahead and get y'all some babies going. The person that had 3 babies in there, get your groove on. I understand that's what the pastors say, but let me kind of break it down for you as a businessman and a businesswoman. Fruitful means to produce results. Thank you. Fruitful means to produce results. It means to be profitable. Think about that. Be profitable. To be fruitful, one must take out that which is hidden in a seed and let it flourish and grow. Please understand this. God never made a chair for Adam. Instead, he hid the chair in the tree. God gave Adam the raw materials, but it took Adam's ingenuity and his productivity to be fruitful with raw materials. Follow me now. Think about how great your mind is when you can look at a tree and declare a chair. I just want you to get an understanding of how awesome your mind is and the ideas and the things that God has placed within you. There's greatness waiting to be unleashed inside of you because you were made in the image of God. Just take a moment and think about that. Now, please understand, to multiply means to take what you produce and duplicate it so it can be disseminated. Take what you produce, duplicate it so it can be disseminated. I want to give you some different ways to look at that Genesis chapter 1 scripture again. All right, replenish means to be full of and accomplished. What have you accomplished lately? There's some things that you came into this year. 6 months have passed, and have you accomplished what you said you were going to accomplish New Year's Eve? How are you replenishing the earth? To be full of and accomplished, to be able to distribute, because you can't distribute it until you accomplish it.
Wow.
You can't distribute it to the earth and to others until you first accomplish it in your own life. Now, subdue means, I like this one here, to conquer, to take control of. See, I'm a personal trainer, and I like to consider myself, I'm just not a trainer. I want to be the best trainer. I want to conquer the market. When people come into Birmingham looking for a trainer, I want Terry Drake to be the first person that they mention. When people talk about a business coach or a person that trains people in entrepreneurship, when they come not just to the area of Roebuck, but the city of Birmingham, I want them to be say Terry Drake, because you want to know why? I have taken control of this industry. There's a new mindset in regards to going to business. Let's talk about this. Talk about some game changers. Let's talk about one game changer in particular. And that game changer, who is that? Amazon. A game changer. They totally changing the game. How are they changing the game? Think about it. People are no longer doing what? Going out shopping. People get on their phones. They have their phones in their hands all day. So what are they doing? They're doing their shopping online. Going to Amazon, you got free Amazon Prime, then you got, free shipping. Gets to your house on time, you ain't got to leave your house, you ain't got to get in traffic. They're changing the game. Now, please understand this. I'm going somewhere. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but question: who is making decisions in the household and how money will be spent and where money will be spent? Who in households are making the decision on money? No, we're still talking about business. We're going somewhere. But who's making the decision about how the money is spent in households? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you said that. Women. Women control what's being bought in the marketplace. Women control, watch this now, by the one decision of what they're buying, women control the economic development of our nations, of our cities, of our state. They control the economic development. Now watch this now. Once I said, people are not going to the stores as they used to. So what does that affect? That affects sales tax. Correct? Right. Now, when you affect sales tax, that affects the general fund of that city. All right. So now, when you start to affect the general fund of that city, what does it also affect? It affects the schools. It affects roads, paved roads. It affects the employment rate. Now, please understand. When new businesses come into different cities, the first thing that they look at in regards to coming into that city is the educational system. You want to know why? Because the educational system is their workforce. So they want to see what kind of education system that the city has or the place that they're coming to, because they want to make sure that their workforce, there's a workforce that can sustain their business. So that makes you begin to think about the education system that is in our city here in Birmingham, which goes back to the lack of resources, goes back to what? The decisions of who? Women. Just want you to think about that. All right, now, once again, people are not going to stores as they used to. Why? Because we live in a fast-paced world and people are looking for what? Convenience. They're looking for convenience. Now, I'm saying, and let me take a pause because I want to say something. I know some of you are talking about how can I get in business, but I want you to understand I'm giving you some quick keys. When you start your business, how convenient will it be for people? I'm dropping nuggets and keys as I'm teaching, okay? Mm-hmm. So I want you to hold on to what I'm saying. Now, please understand. There are convenience. Amazon, ship. Think about it. People just bring your groceries to you. Now, you don't even have to go grocery shopping no more. They bring your groceries to you.
That's what I do.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's so convenient.
Yeah.
I mean, I can sit up in bed and order ship. Yes. And they deliver as late as 7 o'clock at night. Please trust me, I know. Midnight? Oh, midnight now? Oh, I didn't know that. Yes. And plus now they added Target.
Love it.
We got Whole Foods. It all depends on the area. convenience. Now, please understand. I'll go there because yeah. Please understand. Amazon is quickly becoming the go-to place for back-to-school shopping and Christmas shopping. Please understand. Amazon, they're changing the game. People are not Black Friday is now becoming really Cyber Monday. People are not getting out in those lines anymore. So businesses are having to make sure that their sales are convenient for the people, not in person, but online. Now, if you are brave enough to get out there and you want to go out there, they're dropping prices like crazy because they know majority of the people are no longer coming into the stores. That's for back to school and for Christmas. Now, please understand, read that.
Be the first to the future.
In your business, you must be the first to the future. Be the first to the future. Now, please understand, as a business owner, you must understand what? The millennials versus Generation Z. You must understand. If you don't understand this, there's no need to even go into business. You must understand the difference between the two. Please understand. Millennials are said to have already killed what? Bar soap, diamonds, and napkins. Things that they don't even utilize. So if you're still operating off of bar soap and you're distributing bar soap, who's your market? Because millennials are killed that everybody in that shower gel. They're no longer bling blinging. Millennials don't bling bling. So the diamonds is gadgets. They don't. That's not of importance to them. We're talking millennials now. We're not even got the Generation Z. So if you're still marketing diamonds, sales a little slow. They don't even use napkins, hand sanitizer. So if you're still pumping napkins, please understand, Facebook is losing among Generation Z. Generation Z are those that are born between roughly 1995 and 2010. What am I trying to get you to understand right now? I'm not just talking about this generation for nothing. I'm talking about this generation because as you go into business, you must understand your market. You must understand who it is that you're marketing to. Now, please understand, Generation Z prefers Snapchat and Instagram. Now, please understand, Generation Z's hit list. Now, at any moment that you want to text me some things, you don't want on your mind, just go ahead and text, drop it to that note. Now, please understand, Generation Z's hit list is Ralph Lauren, Sperry, and other periphery brands. They're not dressing like that anymore. They're department stores. They're not going into department stores. Nobody's going. Generation Z don't want to shop at JCPenney's. Cable TV. Everybody's streaming. I'm just trying to see how I'm going to do my cable TV. Because I'm so ready to get right. I got YouTube TV. Yes. I got Netflix. I got so much. Now I got not on YouTube TV. I got YouTube TV. That's it. Yeah, so everything right there. Yeah. Then anything related to paper. Generation Z just want to open up their laptops, open up their iPads, their Kindles, and instead of reading a book on their paperback, they just want to read. They can read it from their book. Everything is convenient. Now, they are eliminating Pandora because everything is streamed now, once again. Their Generation Z hit list, traditional luxury goods and casual dining restaurants. If your business is any of those things, Generation Z is after you. Now, please understand. Dominion. Once you have gone through being fruitful, multiplying, filling the earth, replenishing, subduing, you eventually get to the place of what? Having what? Dominion. Now, please understand this. Dominion means to what? To govern, to control, to rule. Say rule. Rule. Now, when God said, when he said you have dominion, kings have dominion. Because you can't have dominion unless you have a domain. So when he said, let them have dominion, he was pronouncing your identity as a king. Say, I'm a king.
I'm a king.
So dominion means to king, to rule, which is where we get our word king, and also to manage, and it also means to what? To master. And my question to you right now is, today is, what do you master? What do you master? Please understand this. Nike master cows. Think about it. Nike master cows, they produce shoes, which equals wealth. KFC master burgers. They produce fried chicken, which equals wealth. What do you master? Tommy Hilfiger masters wool on sheep. He produced clothes, which equals wealth. So once again, what do you master? Wealthy people master what God listed. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, fowl of the land, those things. Wealthy people master those things. So, once again, watch this. Adolf Hitler tried mastering people. He produced war, which equals what? What I'm trying to say to you is this. It was never intended for you to master people. You can only master what God told you to have dominion over. So my question is, what do you master? Now, if you are already in business, have you mastered your area of business? Have you mastered it? Please understand, mastery is the key to your prosperity. Whatever you master, you become prosperous in. Which goes to this statement right here. You can be a jack of all trades, but a master of none, and you'll never become wealthy. Because prosperity comes with mastery. And watch this now, the one that mastered becomes the ruler. So my question to you again is, I think some of us are old enough to remember this movie. Who's the master? Luke chapter 19, verse 13. And he called his 10 servants, delivered them 10 pounds, and said to them, what did he say? Occupy till I come. And other versions said, put this money to work. Invest this for me while I'm gone. Another translation said, engage in business until I come. Another translation said, conduct business with this until I return. Another translation said, do business with this until I come back. Engage in business until I come back. Use this to earn more money until I get back. See what you can earn with this while I am gone. Invest this money until I come back. Invest in trading until I come. It's clear that we ought to be doing business. Now watch this now. Now, in Luke 19, chapter 19, verse 17, you remember the story, gave to the towns, came back and said, okay, show me what you've done, show me what you got, show me what you're working with. So, basically came back and said, okay, I gave you 10, yeah, got you 20, all right, cool. You were faithful over a few. What did he say? I'm going to make you ruler over many things. Now watch this now. In the NIV it says, take charge of 10 cities. In NLT it says, so you will be governor of 10 cities as your reward. In the ESV version it says, you shall have authority over 10 cities. In the contemporary English version it says, you will be given 10 cities to rule. And in the Dual Reigns Bible it says, thou shalt have power over 10 cities. Now watch this now. Matthew 25:23, which is the correlation version of this, as according to Matthew. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee what? Ruler over many things. Now let me show you how most of the people read this scripture. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will give you many things. That's how most people correlate this scripture in their minds because they're concerned about things. They want the accumulation of things.
And they missed that God was saying, I'm making you ruler over things. Now watch this now. He says it's not about the things, because if you seek me, you're going to get the things. He said, I'm trying to get you out of things because, as Jesus said, he wants to remind us that that's what the enemy tried to tempt him with. If you worship me, I'll give you all these things. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to free your life up and let you understand if you become ruler over the things can't touch you. I'm trying to change your position, your posture. I'm trying to get you into a place where you're seated in a rulership place. Where you rule over the things. And please understand, the things don't have you, but you have the things. So when the enemy comes, as he came to Jesus, what did Jesus say? The enemy, he comes, but he has nothing in me. And what the enemy is trying to do is attach you to things. Now, please understand. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18, he said, you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you what? Power to get wealth. That he may establish what? His covenant. Watch this now. He's going to give you the power to get what? The purpose of the power is to get what? Wealth helps you establish what? His covenant. Put a pin in that. I'm coming right back to it. The challenge is that in the church we have no power. There's no lack of love, there's no lack of vision, there's no lack of word, but there is a lack of power. And watch this now. We have all that we listed plus more, including great services. We had one last night. But we have to, watch this now, we have to go to the world for our clothes. We have to go to our world for our shelter, our homes, our mortgages. We got to go to the world for our food. We have to go to the world for our loans. We have to go to the world for our checking accounts. We have to go to the world for our investment accounts. We got to go to the world to educate our kids. The world owns our homes. They own the ability to fulfill our demand. What I mean by this is we have demands, but we have no way to supply them. Because we own nothing. Now watch this now. I don't want to get there, but yeah. Most people are downstairs learning more about church. We are masters at church. But we have no mastery in regards to what God told us to do while he was gone, and let's do business. He didn't say do church.
While he was gone.
He said do business until I get back. See, please understand, he said, I give you the power to get wealth. Okay? We have bypassed the power and all we want is the wealth. And the problem is if you don't have the power and you only have the wealth will run out. But when you have the power, you can have the ability to reproduce the wealth. Jackie Onassis Kennedy said something when she was being interviewed. She said, if I ever go broke, I'll go to the most expensive restaurant in the city. I'll sit down, order a glass of water, and by the time I come back, just by listening to the conversations around me, I'll come out and I'll be a millionaire again. Because it's all about the power. And in the world's terminology, knowledge is power. But in the church, we understand that the least person we talk about is Holy Spirit. And he said, when he comes, you shall receive power. But we don't want to talk about him. We're still talking about business.
I mean, we talk about this.
The best way to keep people poor is to restrict their fruitfulness or productivity and to make sure they can't duplicate what they produce. So the only thing I got to do is just make sure that certain peoples in certain communities in certain neighborhoods don't have the resources to reproduce or to be fruitful. And I'm not talking about having kids. I'm talking about what we talked about earlier. Don't let them have the resources. Don't let them have access to funding. Don't let them have access to more opportunities. Don't let them have access. Control their fruitfulness and productivity. Now, please understand, I don't care what you say, whether it's divorce, whether it's adultery, whether it's HIV or STDs or fornication. The number one thing that plaguing most people is none of that stuff I just mentioned. The number one thing that's plaguing most people, black, white, brown, purple, yellow, green, is poverty. Now, please understand, once again, we talked about that there's no lack of power. I mean, there's no lack of good word and all that stuff, but there's a lack of power. We want everything but the power. And the Lord and the Holy Spirit wants to know, can I trust you with power? See, please understand, you are kings. I don't know if I'm getting too ahead of myself. I can't remember. I just go through this first name, but I'm going with what the Holy Spirit is saying right now. He's saying, please understand, I made you kings and priests. Stop trying to become a preacher inside the four walls. Free yourself from trying to be what you see in church on Sunday mornings. I've called you to be a king. You're to go out there and work and have dominion in the marketplace. To go out there and get the spoils and conquer your area of mastery and to bring the spoils back into the storehouse. But you're trying to walk away from your anointing because you see that it's more glamorous to be in a pulpit. Now, please understand, we're in the night conference. We're awakening a region. 3 things that ignite the king in you or the queen in you is a clear purpose. What's your purpose in life? What's your purpose for your business? What's inside of you that's eating up at you? That you know that this is why I was born. Number 2, a discovery of your potential. What is it that you don't mind getting up and reading on and studying on? That you have an unlimited potential to assess information in regards to this subject or this idea. And a guiding vision. These are 3 things that will ignite the king and the queen inside of you. Now, please understand. Sources of business opportunity, your prior job, hobbies, interests, social issues, volunteer, inventing new products, all of these things. I don't want to go through all of them, but these are things that you can begin to look at and to begin to see, okay, I may have some business ideas that come or stem from these things. Now, assessing your business idea. Is there strong evidence of an unmet need for your idea? Is anyone else already doing it? If so, can you do it better? Can you master? If nobody's currently doing it, why not? Is the product safe and legal? Are raw material, supplies, equipment, and production resources available? Do you need to protect your idea with a patent or copyright? How will you distribute your product? These are things you need to be asking yourself. How many competitors do you have? Once again, more questions in regards to assessing your business idea. I go through all these questions in regard to with new clients. What to look for in a niche market? One things we talked about with niche market earlier. Generation Z or millennials? Who are you marketing to? What's your market? Because please understand, in regards to Generation Z, who pays for Generation Z stuff? Their parents. So are you marketing to Generation Z or are you marketing to the parents? And if you're marketing to the parents, how are you marketing to the parents and how are you getting your information to them? Now, most people are not happy in life because they're doing things they were not born to do, and in essence, they are not equipped to do it because it's not their purpose. Number 1 killer in America is stress. You will hear that the number 1 killer is high blood pressure, cardiac arrest, and heart problem, but the heart problem is not the killer, it's stress. Highest level of stress is on Monday morning between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. They did a test. That 80% of people that die from heart problems died on Monday morning between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. because they're going to a place that they hate. Revelations 1:6, we talked about it earlier. I made you kings and what? Priests. Therefore, go and make disciples of what? All nations. Go and make disciples of all nations. And please understand this, people of God. If nations are going to be evangelized and discipled, it's going to be evangelized and discipled by the businessmen and women of God. countries will allow access to businessmen and women quicker than they will preachers. This is why he said trade, occupy, do business, because he understood that currency is going to be the way to get you into places where preaching can't get you. Please understand, we don't own our own banks, but how do you lend to nations? As a person, you can't lend to nations. Banks lend to nations. But we that's not even something we want to talk about, because we don't own our bank. We try to do a little few credit unions, but who you gonna own to? We're not even in the game globally, but we're supposed to be discipling who? Nations. Now, so let me just say this. I have a class. Y'all want more information about my class? Here's the number. The 15-week class, how to become an entrepreneur, how it takes you through a whole 15 weeks of entrepreneurship training. The gentleman talked earlier. You must have a what?
Plan.
Most businesses fail because they don't have a business plan. They don't have a plan in place. God gave Moses a plan. He gave Adam a plan. He gave David, he gave Solomon a plan. He gave Nehemiah a plan. God is particular about plans. What's your business plan? If I had resources to come into this building, people with resources that come in right now and they wanted to see your plan, what would you be able to give them? If you take my class, when I bring in bankers, when I bring in presidents of banks and different things like that, what do you have to show them? See, please understand this. Kings, the church needs your voice. The church needs your voice because we can shout all day that money coming. But please understand, God is not wasteful. He's not about to give resources to a person that doesn't know how to steward it. So we can shout money cometh all along, but until we change our mindsets, repent, and begin to learn the ways of economic power and the language of economics and the language of finances and the language of entrepreneurship, he's going to hold on to his resources. And because God is a God that is about resources and being fruitful and producing, he's going to give that even if it's to the wealthy, because he's not an idle God. He will give the resources to the wicked, which is why he says the wealth of the wicked is stored up for you, because he'll even give it to you, because God is not a God that is idle. What he has, his resources, they must be in work and in action. So if my people are not mature enough to work and be in action with my resources, I'll give it to the wicked to allow the wicked until I can mature my people with the right mindset. So stop saying that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for you when you don't even know what it means to have an IRA or a mutual fund. Or you don't know how to have, you don't even have a business plan. You don't even have a budget. You don't even know how to go into the grocery store without just going in there with a list. You go in with one with idea of getting 3 things and come out with 20 because you have no plan. You're wasteful. And God is not a wasteful God. He'll give it to someone he knows that'll steward it right. And have him hold it until you mature. And watch this. If you gotta die out, and he'll pass it on to your kids. But he's not going to give his resources to a wasteful people. So while they're downstairs talking about church and how we can do church better, Kings, the church needs your voice. To teach them how to handle entrepreneurship, to teach them how to handle economics, to teach them how to own their own homes, and to teach them how to get out of debt, to teach them not just to have the mortgage, the banks own their mortgage, but pay off, debt free.
Yeah.
Woo. Can I trust you with power?
Yeah. Jesus.
A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. You can't leave a 9-to-5 to him, but you can leave a business to him.
Yeah.
I don't buy my niece Nikes, I buy her stocking Nikes.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
I don't buy her an Apple Watch or a MacBook computer, I buy a stocking Apple. There were 5 streams that fed the Garden of Eden. If you don't have 5 streams of income or multiple streams of income feeding your life, you're not in the place where God intended for you to be. Our children are suffering because parents are not home having to work 2 jobs because we live in a poverty mindset. And we still down there playing church. We want more church and we're losing our kids. And instead of understanding to be kings and priests, control your own time. Spend time with your family. Don't have to go and work in 2 and 3 jobs just to pay the bills. And then you go to a conference, pay the gas bill at the conference, then you go home and have to borrow money to pay your gas. But you gave them money at the church. Wasteful. God is serious about his resources. It's my time. But God is serious. If he has to wait 50 more years to find a generation that'll say, Lord, teach us. Mature us. Trust me with power. Strip every unnecessary thing out of my life and trust me with power. Teach me. Try me. Give me the right heart and motivation for money and for power to get wealth. Not to go to Neiman Marcus and be flossy and bossy, but that I can be able to advance your kingdom in the earth. I didn't mean to get to this point. But somebody has to wake up and say, God, mature me in the mindset of entrepreneurship and business and money. Teach me how to be a faithful steward. Teach me how to be a ruler. Teach me how to be a king. What would happen if businesses started taking care of the needs of the ministry? And tithes and offerings can go into a foundation, we can begin to pay for scholarships and buy people homes and buy people cars and help neighborhoods that's decapitated, that the resources in the school systems are not right, that the church can pay for it.
Yes.
That we can have kids that we can bring into our churches and begin to teach them and show them how to be young men, how to be young women. And we can provide them with clothes and provide them with school resources. But please understand, we got people all over the country giving away book bags, but we won't even reach out and help their kids. Or we just did our little duty. We gave them some school supplies, but those school supplies were gone by the time they get back for the second semester. But I'm talking about building a house where those kids can come. After school programs where they can come to our churches because the businesses are paying for them. No, you ain't got to pay anything, Mom. I know you're a single parent. Bring them on in here. We ain't trying to clean you up. You ain't got to get saved. You ain't even got to go to this church. But come on in. We got business owners that'll take care of your kids after school. You go ahead and go and work for right now until we can get you in this budget class, get you in this finance class, get you the right mindset. Go ahead and go to work. We'll take care of your kids. We don't want them staying at home until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night by themselves. But we got business owners that can scholarship them here. We'll take care of that because we're not concerned about the money. Because our tithes and offerings not going to pay more staff. It's not going into our pastor's plane or his Mercedes Benz. It's going to advance the kingdom of God in this earth. God is looking for faithful stewards. People that don't have the heart towards money, the heart towards entrepreneurship, that don't mind if I got to sit and take a 15-week course. Whatever it takes, God. I'm going to look at some of you. I'm so sorry, y'all. I chose to study because I'm planning to start a music course. I expect to gain clarity on the tools and concepts of business, startup costs, and marketing opportunities. First thing we got to do, some of the things that I showed you on there, got to come up with a plan. My thing is at the end of the day, let me just be honest with you, let me get to the core matter of this thing. I chose this as a budding realtor and real estate investor. I want to learn more about how to use this venture to make an impact in the community and in my life. There are resources out there. We as with the city of Birmingham, we do cross-cultural things, and we're not just for the city of Birmingham. We have information for, it doesn't matter, even my business, even my company. Let me tell you something.